Hello there, everybody. Good evening.
Good
How are we
evening.
doing?
Man, this is going to be fun tonight.
It's always fun.
We got a lot of stuff to go over, so it's going to be bam, 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 right? Everybody's going to hold to this 5-minute deal. We got a bunch of guests coming on, and we'll see if everybody holds up to the 5-minute deal. Hey, have you moved it to all the channels yet?
It is. I'm working on just getting it over to the
different sites. So
over to the group.
So I don't know exactly how this has happened, but while Lee is hard at work right here trying to make everything spread to the different channels, we want to make sure that it's on the Recon Rally. We want to make sure it's on the PDR family and the Kevin Halewood Foundation. Guys, if you have not liked that page yet, that's where we're going to start putting everything that's related to Kevin Halewood Foundation on that page. So you want to make sure that you go and like that, because that's going to have all the information for signups with everything. You're going to learn a lot tonight of what we're doing. And we're going to talk about Anson's open house. We're going to start that off with Christina. She's in the Christina Seconder. She's joining us for 5 minutes. She's going to tell us a whole rundown of the open house. So I'm going to wait for Lee. As soon as you're ready, let me know.
Well, I think we're rolling. We are live on the Kevin Halewood page, and we are live on YouTube, and I think we're live on Instagram. And I'll know for sure here in a second if we're.
I don't see Recon Rally yet.
I'm checking the Recon Rally. That's the only thing I don't know. Let's see. Come on. Why did you not do it? Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to work on that. So let's. We'll get rolling, and I'll play with it here in a second as we're going through.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
awesome. So let me get everybody in here real quick and say hi to Miss Christina Seconder from Anson PDR. Big Dent Dave Shalat.
Hey, gang.
And Mr. Castillo has not made it back in yet.
All right, he will make it back in when we're done, I'm sure.
And so we've got y'all talk for a second.
Yes, and we have Chris Racana in the waiting room as well, and he's going to come up after we're done with you guys. Christina, let's talk about the open house. It's this weekend. Tell us what's going to happen.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm excited. This is my first one to come to, so I'm really excited.
I can't believe this is your first one.
You know, as your dad would say, it was excuses after excuse after excuse. It's hail season. I'm breaking the law for me.
It's hail season. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the money to travel.
Our open house. Yeah, so our open house is this Saturday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Can anybody tell me the theme? Star Wars. Come on. Thank you, Big Dent Dave. So we're doing Star Wars theme. Anyway, our open house, we do it every year. So it's annual. It started 7 years ago, and it's not just coming to see us at Anson and what we have to tell you about or show you about Anson and what we specifically do, but it's also about the companies that we sell their products. So you'll see Dentcraft, you'll see Edgy, you'll see Kiko. The list goes on and on about all the vendors that'll be there, and you get to ask questions face to face with the companies, not just Anson, but with the companies that you deal with every day, whether you're buying from Anson or Dentcraft and all of the other wonderful companies in the industry. It's all under one roof, and it's super casual. There's going to be a food truck because people love to eat tacos and they like to buy dent tools when they're fed. So it's just this whole scheme that we've created to keep customers in all day. It's a wonderful networking event for technicians. And we've started doing where, I don't know if you've seen all of our emails that have gone out to RSVP, but we have seen so many new names, which is fantastic. It's not just fantastic to see new faces at Anson, but that means our entire industry is growing. So I'm personally really excited, not only to see Randy attend his first Anson open house, but to see a bunch of new technicians that have not been a part of the industry for very long and get to come see all of us and ask questions.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see all you guys.
Yeah, it's really fun. You know, like I said, people ask us questions. That's, you know, and we get to do demonstrations. And Gene Fetty with Auto Appearance Institute, he is going to be doing a training on Thursday at Anson from 9 to 4. So if you're going to be in DFW early, sign up for that class. Also, you don't have to sign up for this, but on Friday, we're going to be doing like a glue pool kind of mastermind that Gene's putting together to just come by and give your tidbits maybe to fellow PDR technicians that would like to hear a piece of knowledge that you may have that they haven't heard before, which I know that's how I have learned the most about paintless dent repair tools and how I can relate to my customers. Are these tidbits from people like you guys that are on the screen with me, sharing different life experiences and failures and championships that you've had with glue pulling and dent repair.
So let me ask you this. So Friday, for example, I think I fly in Friday at 5:30. What's going on Friday? What time, first of all, what time does that start Friday for guys if they want to stop by?
We will be open at Anson 8 to 5 on Friday, but I think what Gene was shooting for was around like 10 to 3 or something like that.
Okay.
To just pop in if you could or wanted to, and that there would be an opportunity not just to come by and see Anson early and maybe scope it out before Saturday, but to have a conversation with people and again, sharing that like-minded glue setting.
Okay. So what happens Friday night? Somebody says that is that when you go down to Old Town Burleson or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Old Town Burleson, if you are in town early and want to come hang out, we're going to be at Station 330, which is in Old Town Burleson. Burleson's not a very big place, so you will not miss it. And we have a fun time. It's just a good spot for us to meet up, and there's all sorts of places within walking distance. And then we'll see you Saturday at 10 a.m.
Cool. Now, is that the place that has like that open courtyard?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So there's something really kind of cool. There's several things that's going to be cool happening at the open house this weekend. Dave and Christina, do you know about what Dave's going to do?
Oh, I do. And do
Okay.
not look at my hair, okay? I'm not doing it.
Do I have your permission?
Yeah, you do. Do I need to bring the clippers or?
Well, I was gonna.
These?
So because of the donation amount, I was gonna bring clippers that are only like 1/8 of an inch wide. So for every $50, you get 1/8 of an inch of my skull. And love me or hate me, I really don't care. It's not a popularity contest in the industry. This is for the better good, right? And boy, let's go back 4 years for the better good. Anyway, for the Halewood Foundation, I have volunteered. I was on the phone one night with Vince and Randy and Lee. We were in Fort Lauderdale for Lito's funeral for Natalia Balderrama, the founder of Dent Wizard. And we all got on a quick little FaceTime call just to horse around a little bit. And Vince and I, Christina, we may have had a couple of cocktails. I know you find that hard to believe. And so I got the wise idea as we were talking with Randy and Lee, like, hey, I've got an idea. Let's do this. And I just flat out blurted it out, much like you see, St. Jude's, right? People shave their head for St. Jude's, right? And so I just jumped right on that bandwagon and said, I'm all in, right? This is a no-brainer. My hair probably won't grow back. I'll be like Lee or Randy. But it is what it is.
They couldn't volunteer.
It is what it is at my age. If it doesn't grow back, it doesn't grow back. But as any poor barber says, I'll see you in 2 weeks. So I'm very excited about that. And anybody, I invite everyone. I've already gotten a donation from one of the guys, from David White up in Connecticut. You all know David. He's already donated. So I think $50 a swath. I'll bring the clippers. They'll be charged up, ready to go, if I even show up. No, I'll be there. I am going to fly in. And so Randy, to answer your question in piggyback on Christina. Burleson's a beautiful. It's just, I hate to use the word quaint because it's kind of one of those funny words, right? But it's a cool small town, right? And there is a lot to do. It is ultra cool. You can't get lost. You can't go too far. And if you're staying at the what are the hotels there, Christina? The Comfort Suites, or at the Marriott's got a little place down there. Yeah, the Best Western. Sorry, not Comfort. The Best Western, or the Marriott down that way. You can't get lost, right? It's very easy. You've got Jellystone Park a little farther south. Some people like to stay at, but it's a great. Yeah, thanks, Lee. But it's a great place, great time. So I also have taken the liberty. My company will match the donation, dollar for dollar, for everybody that donates. So $50 a swipe on my head. If you guys want to Venmo me, I'm David-Shalott on Venmo. You have my word that I will add that to the donation, and my company, Professional Dent Repair, will match the donation to the Kevin Halewood Foundation, dollar for dollar.
Wow.
Okay?
That's awesome, Dave. Cool. Thank you.
So I'm super excited to be there. I fly in Friday. I will get there early. I will bring a special guest from Europe with me, whom I'm meeting on Friday morning. Can't tell you his name. And we're going to have breakfast, and then we'll mosey down towards Anson. If you all know me well enough, I might even bring some beer to stock in your fridge, Christina, if that's all right.
But nothing else.
Of course. And I look forward to seeing everybody. Randy, your first time there. I'm super excited for you to see the building. Certainly, Christina, I've tried to make every one of these as I can. I brought my family one year. The kids ate too much of Mimi's sugary snacks, and we had to bail. Things of that nature that happen. But Randy, I fell over when I saw the footprint of the building. Now, I grew up in the plumbing trade, and so I was looking at the layout on the plumbing, and before there was occupancy permits, and we were, sneaking in, and I saw the building as Christina was building it, and it is a dream castle for dent guys. So everybody, get your butt there, buy the tools, come shave my head, donate some money, and we'll all have a great time.
It's true. I mean, I walk around that place. I was there Thursday, and I walk around that place, and I'm just like, oh. It is.
He didn't even make it very far through the door. He got stuck.
And to make it clear, I have been to Anson. I haven't been to the
Okay, sorry. Right. I beg your pardon.
I was there in January, and yes, my mind was blown away. Craig gave me the nickel and dime tour, top to bottom, all around, and I was just like, wow, you guys are legit as legit can be.
Did he check your pockets before you left?
No.
Okay.
You should. I mean, I had them stuffed too.
Vince does the shakedowns. That's his job.
Chicago guy, yeah. He's good at that.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to tackle you on the way out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably Larry.
Yeah.
Or Kate. And then we got Mr. Robert Castillo. Thank you for joining us.
Had a few technical problems. Can you all hear me okay?
You're fine now, Robert.
Perfect. Good.
And
good. Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Robert, I wanted to ask you, because you and I and Lee was all on the counter. I think, Lee, you were on there too, weren't you? Or that night you weren't. I don't remember. Anyway, when we're talking about the kick of the car, when that whole idea came up, it was Craig.
I missed it.
Craig come up with the idea of this kick of the car. Robert was there. I was there talking, and we're like, this is a really cool idea. So, Robert, can you maybe indulge and kind of go into detail of how that works?
Well, yes. I mean, I think it's a wonderful idea. First of all, hats off to Craig. That guy, he's pretty ingenuitive. I'm not just saying that because his boss is on this podcast, but but I will say it's kick a panel or kick a car for technicians that are out there that are going to be watching this podcast, where we'll have an opportunity to just kick a hail car, or even kick a smasher, or kick a panel off the hail car, whatever it can be, whatever a technician feels from the kindness of their heart to do so. And the amount of money that is actually on that panel or on that hail car or on that smasher, we'll donate that money to the Kevin Halewood Foundation out of the kindness of their heart to start help building the foundation and the funds within the foundation, because it goes to a great cause. For like someone like myself that had something very unexpected that came up medically, just kind of blew my whole family away. I mean, it set us back in a really strange way, unexpectedly. And with this foundation and the way it goes through and how it's set up with all of the board members, it's not a situation where the foundation can just stroke a check. I mean, it has to go through the proper steps throughout the foundation in order to make funds available to a technician or maybe his family that's in need. So that's what that Kick a Panel or Kick a Hail Car is going to be all about. It's just something that we can easily do. We just need to get on the bandwagon and get it started to build some funds, get some funds put towards the Kevin Halewood Foundation.
Especially all you guys that's watching that travel doing hail, and you have a hail team you work with. What a cool thing to do, to unite you guys together, to pull your talents together to do one car. You'll have it done in half a day or maybe a day top. And you take those funds, and Anson did it. Rodney Vance has done it. Our group's going to do it. And you know what? We know we're going to grow on that. And if we can get people to commit to doing that one time a year, we should be able to raise enough funds to help a lot of people out. We're going to be also looking out for the detailers too, to do the same thing. We know that the hail money is great money, but even for a detailer, for him to kick $300-$400 detail a year, is just equivalent as us doing what we do, or maybe an interior repair person doing something that they dyed the seats on a car, or windshield repair, paint touch up people. We're going to be having different sections of this, of the foundation, different sectors, different chapters. One's going to be detail. One's going to be detailing, PDR, and then a miscellaneous. And we've, right now we're pretty close to wrapping everything up on the PDR side. Saturday, we'll be introducing the kevinhalewoodfoundation.org website. There might be still some more changes that have to happen to it, but we're really pushing to get it released Friday night or Saturday, just to have ready for the Anson house, be able to say, hey, this is up and ready. This is pretty exciting. People can go there and make donations. And then I don't know what Lee's laughing about right now, but Lee, why don't you tell them about what you've got with your with the Recon Garage coming up? This is pretty cool too.
I'll tell you real fast what I'm laughing about. I just got a text that said, "Oh, this is the first I've heard of the Kick a Car. I thought we could just donate money to kick a car."
I'll kick every car. Donate away.
You could do that.
I will not.
I'll fly around and kick cars.
I will not throw the person under the bus as to who texted me that.
It could be like a rage room, where you go and you can hit stuff. Let me pay to kick a car. Yeah,
y'all can enjoy what I do. I mean,
let's dress up as
something. Don't forget,
let's dress up as taxing dummy as a State Farm adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, I make dents for a living for my students. It's awesome when I get to smash a panel in. It's great, Of course, I have to be able to fix it at the same time. So, Recon Garage. Wink, wink, waffle, waffle. So I've already got it all set up. I was at Anson on Thursday and purchased a whole bunch of items for the foundation that the foundation has purchased. I also added 3 more items today, so there's going to be a total of 13 items that are going to go live Saturday morning at the same time that Anson opens the event. And what Recon Garage is, it's actually a raffle that we're going to be doing. The ticket sales are set up on the same website that we hosted all of the auctions on. Somebody can go in, they'll see all the different items. There's 20 tickets available for each item at a specific price point. Somebody goes in and buys, like one of the items, one of Robert's powerhouse rods is on there. As one of the items, and it's 20 tickets. I can tell you real fast. I can't remember off the top of my head, but let's say it's $20. $20 at 20 tickets. It collects $400. Let's say the item costs $200. $200 was to pay Anson for the item. The other $200 goes into the foundation. Also, shipping is included within the number of tickets that I've sold or that we're selling. I've got the shipping covered. So the person only, whoever wins it will win it for the amount, shipping included. With that being said, the way I'm going to do the drawings is as soon as all of the tickets are sold, as someone goes in and purchases their ticket, that the order that they buy their ticket is what their drawing number is. So Dave, let's say you go in and buy a raffle ticket on one of the items, and your purchase was number 5. Your drawing number will be number 5. As soon as all of those tickets are sold, now hopefully we're gonna blow a bunch of these out Saturday, but just moving forward, as soon as all of those tickets are sold for that item, the very first show that I'm going to do live after that closes, I'm going to do the drawing. My plan is to do live streams Tuesdays and Thursdays every single week at noon Pacific time, so 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern. But the next show after those have closed, I'm going to do the drawing immediately, and we'll get those items shipped out to you. So I am super, super excited to be. I'm going to be doing 2 lives a week. We're going to constantly be adding new merchandise to it and be constantly hosting the raffles. So I'm super excited about doing this.
And as that goes forward, it's not going to just be PDR tools. We hope to have everybody in the MT community, all the exhibitors, manufacturers, take part of this. And we want to, like Dr. Beasley's. I mean, he's on next. Chris Racana. We'd like to get some of their products. We want to get 3D's products. We want to get everybody's products on the detail side too.
Right.
Intermingle I mean, all of us guys, we need good polishers, good compounds, and a polish. We're tiny speck in that industry for what we would use, but we do use it, and we're one big family, right?
Most of you guys need those good.
Let me ask Randy. Just hypothetically, like this week, I have a perfect example of something that maybe I could shoot a video of. It's I think it's like a $650 door ding touch up type of a thing, that I could shoot a quick 1-minute video to have available to sort of maybe start kicking this thing off on kick a panel or kick a dent job or something like that towards the foundation. Can I do that? Should I be able to do that?
Absolutely. That'd be a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, we're open to anything. Anybody wants to be a part of this? We want everybody to take a part of it. This is one, I was telling Lee earlier, this is one area we should all be a part of. And that's to help our brothers and sisters out. So it doesn't matter what we do, but I love that idea, Robert. And anybody has any other ideas, please bring them to the table. What a great way to do it.
That's cool. So what I'll do is then I'm going to pledge, of course, if the client shows up I've got some appointments this week, obviously showing up. We've been totally reconstructing the shop. So we've been under construction for the last 2 weeks. So it'll be video ready with all our new lights and everything.
Nice.
Expanded. Yeah, we expanded to take on the workflow, Jeremy Compton and I. So I'll put something together this week. I'll throw a video in, and we'll use it as an example. A pledged example, obviously, because it is going to go to a good cause. So I'm going to do something like that this week, and hopefully we can have that video ready by the time we do the show or something, and then you guys can post it on or maybe I can share it to your group. And we'll go that route.
You can share it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I'll throw it out as many places as we can.
Let's simplify this, Robert, because now I have a better understanding, because I wanted to fly around and start kicking cars. Like let's get the verbiage straight, right? We're going to kick a panel to the foundation, the money that was allocated for that repair, right? Or if you're in a cat team and you got a whole team of guys, you can kick an entire car. Beautiful, right? Excellent. Let's like clear up the verbiage just a touch and say, hey, we're going to kick that down. I don't want to say down the road, right? But we're going to kick that over to the foundation rather than keeping the revenue, right? Rather than physically kicking. Yes, that's what
we have a bunch of dead guys running around kicking cars.
And secondly, then Christina, can we use FVD's driver's seat to shave my head?
I like the way you think. Well, and Robert, I like how you're doing a pledge, because I'm going to put
That's
a little
awesome.
bit of pressure on any technicians listening or that will be listening. Okay. So
Yeah.
at Anson, we did this. We do not repair cars at Anson, and we did it. If we can do it and we can fix a car, an entire hail damaged car, all of it, the whole thing, replace the window, all of it, the whole shebang. If we can do it in half a day, hail technicians can do it. You can. It was $4,000 worth. Done.
I
Easy.
agree.
Right to the foundation.
Yeah.
Man. That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, when I get back to Cali, because I don't get an opportunity to do hail cars very often anymore, but I do repairs still. If this car shows up, I've got a very significant large repair coming in on a Rolls Royce that I have to do. So it's a pretty good shot. It's a pretty significant dent. So yeah, I'm gonna kick a part of that, because there's 2 panels I got to fix. So I'm gonna kick some of that back to also.
Well, I think
That's
a lot
awesome.
of this has to do with. I think a lot of it has to do with just keeping it alive, right? Demonstration without presentation or words of vaporization. I've always looked at things that way. So, we've always used that old cliche, out of sight, out of mind, right? And I think the more active that we stay with this, and the more shares and the more posts that we can put together with Recon Rally, I think that'll really, really help. It's all about leading by example these days, and then the guys, everybody's so busy right now. There's been so many storms and things going on. I mean, I feel for the folks out of Nebraska and Oklahoma, that just got hammered this past weekend. And
Absolutely.
sometimes it's the same way when hail techs get to a hailstorm. They're just so busy getting set up, and then dealing with their families and all of that good fun stuff, right, that comes with how we make our living. So I think as long as we just keep staying proactive with it, and we'll get some good response out of it.
Absolutely.
Love
And by all means, please, everyone that's out there, anytime you see any of our posts about stuff, by all means, share it. The broader we can push this out there, the better the entire industry is going to benefit from it. So please, by all means, do that.
Okay.
Guys, thank you.
Our
all
5
so
minutes
much
are up.
for coming on tonight. Yep. It's time to. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Can I go?
No.
Bye.
Guys, thank you seriously so much. Can't
Of
wait
course.
to see you guys Saturday.
See you on
and
Friday or
I'm
Saturday.
looking so
Yep.
forward to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I'm
Robert,
really
you're coming
looking
up?
forward to coming to Anson. Yeah. I'll see you guys. My
Yeah.
Sass has some leftovers warming up for me on the stove, and I'm hungry.
Bye,
You
Robert.
go
See you
eat dinner.
Saturday.
Christina,
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
See y'all Saturday.
Yes.
See you,
Have a
see you
great
Friday or Saturday. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thanks for having
Thanks.
me.
See you guys. My
Y'all
pleasure.
later.
Bye, guys.
Christina, what's the hour Saturday?
10 to 2 on Saturday, May 4th in Burleson, Texas at Anson PDR.
All right. Thank
May
you.
the
so much.
4th be with you.
May the 4th be
Thank
with
you,
you.
Lee. Thank you.
You're going to
Awesome.
need
Bye, guys.
it.
Thanks for taking
Bye.
time
See you
out
then.
tonight. All right.
All
Good
right.
deal. All right.
Good. Awesome.
Let the show begin.
Mr.
Hey,
Chris.
can we do this
Yeah.
real quick?
Of course. What would you like to do?
Can you play your 30-second thing? We need some kind of pump up music to bring this guy on.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
Well, sure.
Maybe that 30-second deal again. It's better than the elevator music you normally play. And this way we kind of get re-pumped up, kind of, oh.
Well, I don't have hair to bang anymore, Val, even though I still listen to heavy metal.
Well, let's do the 30-second deal and let's.
Oh, shit. The music ended. Sorry. Where'd he go? All right, guys, we're back.
I had to take a leak.
Would you like to do the honors to introduce our actual guest for this evening?
Man, how do you introduce him? Let's just bring him on. He's been sitting in the waiting room for a while. I'm surprised he's
I
still
know.
working. Yeah, he's still there. All right. Hi,
Chris from Dr. Beasley's.
Yes. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Doing
We,
awesome.
did,
How
we didn't
are
even
you?
do a sound check with him.
I know.
Check.
Oh, good. Check. Everything good? I hear you guys
We're good.
fine.
I can't hear him.
Chris, don't listen to Randy. He'll mess with you. Randy's the one that'll be sitting here doing this for like 10 minutes while we're losing while we're losing people. Yeah. Okay. Welcome.
Thank
Yes,
you. I appreciate your opening. The pump up music. I do tend to skew a little metal in my musical taste, so I do appreciate that. Thank you.
I could tell you're a rock star.
Don't let that fool you. I've still got definite metal roots.
So
I don't
Chris,
have any other roots, but I have
Come on,
metal.
Pantera's from Texas, right? I mean, you can really get much more metal than that. Let's
right?
go.
There you go.
So how you doing, Chris?
Doing very well, sir. Another busy day at HQ. It's kind of back into my usual. I'm a creature of habit. That's where I'm happiest. So it's like it's been a very busy spring up until now, and now I'm starting to settle back into things. So we just got done with we had our longest training ever. We had a 5-day training that we hosted at a few different locations around Chicago, but kind of got done with that. And now it's kind of like, all right, let's get back into the swing of things.
So Chris, tell everybody who you are, where you live, and tell us a little bit about Dr. Beasley's and the products.
So Dr. Beasley's, I guess before anything, I was a customer before I went to work for them. I mean, I come from a different industry altogether. I was actually in the furniture industry, and I did, kind of a juxtaposition of education. I mean, I studied philosophy for 2 years when I was at Marquette at a Jesuit university, and then I ended up transferring to Columbia and was studying acoustics and sound. And I was going to design audio systems for concert halls, and ended up going into a sales bit, doing custom home audio, and then eventually ended up going back into the family business, which my family for 3 generations imported furniture from Italy. So I deep dove into that, and it was very successful. My brother, my father, and I, and to the point where we had a building where I had a barter deal with Dr. Beasley's, with the owner of Dr. Beasley's, Jim Lefebvre, rather. And basically, I used to barter Jim warehouse space for detail services and for our cars and stuff like that. And what started off as a deal that was a couple pallets here or there, because what put Dr. Beasley's on the map was really the matte technology. The Hyundai and Audi and these OEMs started introducing matte paint. And he was the first to market with a matte specific ceramic coating. So I was a customer over there, and I saw an opportunity because I see him he's struggling to get these pallets of boxes off the back of a truck. He doesn't have a forklift. He doesn't have a loading dock. He doesn't have any of this stuff. I'm like, I can do that for you really easily, and I won't even notice because we have containers from Italy coming in all the time, and it's not a big deal. If you could just not charge me anymore to take care of the cars, that'd be super sweet, And we made a deal, and that's for many years. That's how we did it, and it's kind of funny. We even had some crossovers. So his whole shtick, the background of Dr. Beasley is really interesting because Jim, the owner, he has an MBA. So he's got that ultra business sense to him, but he's one of those scary smart guys because his undergrad is actually in chemistry. So he's not a car guy. He's in the car business. Everyone I meet is like, oh, a car guy, Ford guy, Porsche guy, and it's just like, no, nothing. He goes is this a cool car? I'm like, yes, I want that car in the shop. Go get that car. And he geeks out on solving the problems. So here you have this MBA with his undergrad in chemistry who's running this detail shop. And he's just like, this isn't right. This should be better. This can be better. I know I can make it better. And it just started off with a leather conditioner. That was actually the genesis of Dr. Beasley's. But then again, spin it forward into when he unlocked the whole matte coating thing. So when he starts doing that, he's growing. And I make that barter deal with them. And again, it's a couple pallets a year. It's no big deal. This continues on over a decade plus maybe. And it gets to a point where I have an attitude adjustment, let's say, and realize the priorities of my life, basically, not to get into the whole story, but I lost my brother to pancreatic cancer and I lost my father to Alzheimer's in 18 months. And so it was just like, it was the three of us in this business and it was great. And then I was by myself and it wasn't so great anymore. And that's where I refocused my life and only being happy. And every decision I ever made ever since then was always about being happy. So when I call Jim and say, I'm out, selling everything out of Chicago, I'd already sold my house in Chicago, moving to Wisconsin, see you later. He was the guy who asked me, what are you going to do? And I'm like, the only thing I've ever done besides pretty much selling furniture was I did some mobile detailing when I was in high school and college, and that's what kind of got me thinking, and then I go in and I meet his whole team. And I want to learn about the detail industry. I want to see this opportunity, and I'm actually angling for an operations job because I'm burnt out on sales and dealing with people and stuff. I don't want to talk to anyone anymore. And meet his whole team. Here's the operations guy, production. This, here's the building facilities, all this kind of stuff. Who's selling this stuff for you? And he's like, well, we went to SEMA a couple of years. We're like, no, but who's selling this for you? And he's like, and I'm like, Jim, you're a lovely man. You're not a salesman. You're not a sales guy. You're very, very smart, but that's a certain person. You're like, the sales guy was me, the guy at the back of the class who was always talking through class. You were the guy paying attention in the front row. I was the guy talking to Jimmy next to me in the back row. And that's why I'm in sales and you have multiple degrees. And anyway, so I looked at this as a slam dunk because I did a little easy math. I watched his business grow, right? From that couple of pallets when I made that first barter deal. And I see that all that, like he would send a team over to our building, put together several pallets for an order, and I'd get a bill waiting on my desk. They're coming tomorrow to pick it up. Great. And into my shipping manager, and I'd never buy it. It didn't bother me a bit. So we did that for years. And I watched this grow. And I'm sitting there like, this guy has done what in sales they say is impossible. You cannot take a product, put it on the shelf, and wait for people to buy it. And that's basically what I did. So I looked at this as this spoke to me because this speaks to the quality of the product. So if this product is that good that he can literally put it out, it'll grow like this. Imagine if there was a voice behind it that could communicate to the customer base the advantages of using the product. So that's where I just saw this as an incredible opportunity. I'm looking for something to do. And again, what's going to make me happy? As a father, of course, it's all about my kids. That's why I live in a little town, Wisconsin. They go to this small school, 300 kids, K through 8, best of everything. It's awesome. I love it. But my brother and I, who were best friends, each other's best men, everything, we lived together, he and I would detail cars together. That was our common point. We'd sit in the warehouse and we'd clean our cars together. And for me to do this now as a career is literally me having fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I get it. Go ahead, Lee.
I was just going to say, I'm so intrigued because I'll admit that, I'm a little familiar, but I was on the website over the weekend doing looking at some different products and stuff. And that's when I came across the matte finish stuff. And I'm so intrigued by the stuff that y'all have for matte finish, because let's face it, everybody's so scared to death of it. And I honestly think a lot of this, from some of the stuff that I was seeing, could really benefit some of the guys in the PDR industry, because we're so afraid of matte finish because you have to be so careful with it. For us, for PDR guys, you have to be perfect. First of all, it's hard to see to repair. But we also have to be perfect when we repair it, because you can't go back and wet sand and buff it, So you better be spot on when you repair one that's a matte finish. And let's face it, most of the matte finish vehicles out there that most of us genuinely see are higher end. There's so many Mercedes and the BMWs are coming out. And yes, there are some not low end, but lower end vehicles out there that are matte finished as well. But there's just tons and tons of the Mercedes and the AMG packages and all that stuff. So there's a lot out there for the matte finish.
No, the thought process of it being a flash in the pan, a trend kind of thing is gone. I mean, it's never going to be the majority, but still, I mean, it's
Sure.
not going anywhere. I mean,
Right.
at least by all indications. I mean, we were actually funny because production was pretty stressed earlier this year because Hyundai and Genesis and Kia, it's all my Hyundai, they've so far tripled their forecasted ordering for the year. So that's telling us that, the matte cars aren't going anywhere. And again, it's nice to see kind of more mid-tier. We all know the Magno, Mercedes, the Frozen, I mean, I'm convinced there is not a G-Wagon they made anymore that is not matte black. It's like why build just a $200,000 one? Slap that. Come on, we need to get more options on there. We need to get this into at least $300,000. Let's go.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At that rate, who cares?
And it's weird. It seems like the trend lately has been the matte and then more of the solid colors. There's less metallics out there. It's kind of weird if you notice that.
Well, it's always. I mean, at least in my experience, that's an option. It's like anything. You get any of the metallics, the tri-coats, or anything like that. You're always going to be upgraded on just because it's more work, more labor, more paint. But because those are difficult to work on too. I mean, you have to repaint and get that flake right. That's not an easy proposition. And then, do I blend it? Do I not blend it? I don't know.
Right, for sure.
So what are some other products you guys carry? I know we've been talking about ceramic coating. I just had both of our cars, my wife and I's cars, ceramic coated. And when you said that for the matte finishes, I was like, I didn't know that was even possible. So that was kind of news to me. That was something new for me.
So this is kind of the interesting thing about kind of working for Jim. He looks, as I tell a story, it's Jim from the ivory tower looking down and saying, how can we fix this, make this more efficient? So the product that, like, when we met at MTE, right, like we were down there, and this is where I think, PDR and detail side, this is a great event to help us grow together, because I think independently we can't have that big of a show, but together we can combine the combined buying power, if you will, can really, put together a good show. So this is where I like to see that show keep on growing as it has been.
Would you gentlemen excuse me for a minute? I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the product I was talking about there is, again,
I was trying to
close him.
Yeah.
Is, again, a unique product. So it's similar to what matte was. Matte, matte comes out onto the market. People start putting standard gloss ceramic coatings on them, and sure, it'll work, it'll protect it, but it's changing it, right? It's not the OEM finish. It enriches it or darkens it, but it's not, that OEM matte finish. So he kind of unlocked that enigma and figured that out. Now, as he kind of ventures further into the ceramic game, he goes into introduce, and does the for gloss as well. Now, I'm a short timer in this industry since January of 21. So almost 3+ years in it. But generally, I kind of laugh, just like, if you're in the coating business, you're going to have people that are going to complain about coating failure. And, he wanted to eliminate the possibility of coating. He saw that initially as the problem. Like, okay, let's eliminate coating failure. How do we do that? And, he starts looking into it. Of course, we all know it's basically because it's the polishing oils left behind, which is why we got to come through with an IPA wipe, alcohol, to remove the polishing oils, to have virgin clear coat before we lay down the ceramic technology. So how do we absolve ourselves of that risk? Because even if you wipe it down with alcohol, are you 110%? You're going to do it twice. You're going to do it 3 times, whatever it is. And so that's where he sat in the lab for 18 months. And he came up with what's now called nanogel. And this, again, so, what is a polish? What is a compound? It's 2 things. There's abrasive technology on one side, and there's the carrier that keeps it lubricated and moving on the surface. So With that, he invented this nanogel. So instead of being a combination of polishing oils and silicone, all things that are considered contaminants in the eyes of a ceramic coating, things that are going to hinder the adhesion of that ceramic coating. Now it's nanogel. He's utilizing that same technology. So now instead of the correction and the paint protection step fighting each other, and you got to make them nice, make amends with an IPA wipe. Now, if we're using that same nanotechnology is the buzzword, right? Ceramic nanotechnology. If we use it, we take that technology from the protection step, and now we use that same technology in the correction step. Now we're working on synthesis. We're working together. So when you use our primers, as we call them, so we don't call them polishes, because a polish is kind of a negative. You know what I mean? We like to look at our primer as a positive, because as you're abrading the surface, instead of leaving behind contaminants, now we're polishing and we're leaving behind a foundation of ceramic technology that's waiting to accept that ceramic technology on top. And the cool thing about the product is it's designed to work with all nanotechnology. So whether you're an IGL guy, System X guy, whoever you're buying your coatings from, and let's face it, most of them are made by about 3 people, that this is going to play nice. And then this, again, speaks to the ethos of Dr. Beasley and what kind of makes us unique. We play well with others. The event we were just doing, we had Lake Country in there and Flex Tools as tool manufacturers, but I also had Recon Garage, who, technically are the competitor. They sell polishes, they sell, paint protection products. But again, we don't look at it as competition. To us, it's about true entrepreneur. One of the things we talked about in this pro clinic was entrepreneurship, and true entrepreneurs pick each other up. They don't get caught in the drama and the bickering and, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, no, how can I help you out? How can we work together? Randy calls me, I'd love to have you on your podcast. It's mostly PDR guys. Let's work together, man. I don't know. At worst, we have a cool conversation. Like what's the worst thing of it? You know what I mean? You never know where these things are going to go. So to pass on an opportunity is foolish.
I've got a question for you, because most of our people watching our PDR, we are branching out slowly, getting more and more detailers and interior repair and ceramic coating guys. Ceramic coatings, we PDR guys fight this stuff because we try to glue pull the rails, and that won't stick to it at all. What's the best way to remove that where we can actually glue pull on rails?
All right. So again, sales guy. Okay. So I'm a phone jockey. I'm on, I talk to detailers all day long, but I've learned quite a bit. I go to a lot of trainings and I generally pay attention because I enjoy this stuff. So I'd always defer to someone like one of our authorized trainers who actually does it all day, every day. But my understanding of everything, the only way to 100% know for sure to know you took that coating off is to abrade the surface, which means a polish or a compound or something of that nature. Now, can you chemically strip it? Absolutely. Most, professional coatings, maybe not so much the higher end ones, but a lot of lesser coatings can be chemically stripped relatively easily. So there's various cleansers out there by, I know one that one of our authorized detailers uses. Sorry, Jim, I'm going to talk about someone else's product, but I think it's Kokemi is the manufacturer, and it's Green Star. So I know, he always tells me about it because it's like our top end coating. He's like, he'll use this product to strip lesser coatings, but we can use it to clean this coating. It's like our top end pro coating, it's got chemical resistance that's crazy insane. Yeah, so the only way abraded is the only way you know for sure. So if you really got it's nothing sticking, grab some polish it out, and there you go. And then you'll be able to get through it.
So for all the guys that don't know that much about ceramic coating, I can tell you I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know years ago I tested it out. This was going back probably in 2006 to 2008. And I did half my windshield and half my hood. And for a year, water beat it off of it. It was just amazing. Now I've just had both of my vehicles done, and I had my wheels on the inside and the outside done. And the reason I did
the wheels off surface, nice.
I did. Yeah, they took all the wheels off, both vehicles, cleaned them, prepped them all down. And the reason I did the insides is so that the brake dust doesn't stick to it, because I love seeing my wheels, and I love seeing the insides of them nice and clean.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, they took the paint gauge all the way around the vehicle before they started. I don't remember what it came up to. What is it? 1.5 mil? I don't even know what the paints normally are. 2 mil.
Usually, the go no go for polishing they say is 3 mil. So usually, factory paint jobs these days are 4-ish, 4+, and they say basically 2 of that is your e-coat, your primer, e-coat, base coat, and then you have 2 of that is your clear coat, and you need 1 mil of clear coat to safely protect the base coat underneath it. So essentially, you have 1 mil of clear coat to last the life of the paint job.
Yeah. So after they put the ceramic coating, they went over the top of it. Maybe that's where I'm getting this 1.5 mil at. I think it was 1.5 mil more thicker, than what it was when the paint was. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. And again, this is something.
They took it around my wheels. They took it around the side, the whole thing. They videotaped it and showed it to me. I was very, very impressed.
It's I doubt it was 1.5 mil. That would be really crazy film build. Because that's part of a story of like how I sell one of our products, how I train guys. Because what I end up doing is I train a lot of the sales stuff. So like if any of you guys ever wanted to go through a sales training session, I'm more than happy to go ahead and take you through the whole sales process, because at a certain point it's widgets. It doesn't matter, what it is. It's just sales. I lost my train of thought now. I'm sorry. I went down the rabbit hole of that.
That's all right. So 1.5 mil.
Talking about
1.5 mil. Yeah.
Maybe it was 0.5 mil. I don't remember. All I remember is there was a significant difference, and I was like, wow, that's really, really impressive. Especially when they showed me the insides of the wheels and stuff. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, and that's what you're basically doing, and we're creating, and the whole reason the ceramics are really cool, the way I understand it, the way it's explained to me, is because older technology paint protection made a physical bond with your paint. So that's like you look at Carnauba wax. That's why it fills scratches. We talk about fillers and stuff like that. If you're making a physical bond, it's basically like plaster in your wall, right? You can fill in all those defects and make it smooth, and wow, that's how it's shiny. But then the wax falls off and all the swirl marks and spider marks reappear. If we go with a ceramic coating, now we can actually build thickness on top of that, because now instead of that physical bond, now we're making actually a mechanical. So it cross links and bonds with that clear coat and becomes one. But this is also what creates that incredible durability is that bond. But the Achilles heel to that is the prep. So whereas with a physical bond, a wax, I could half-ass my prep. There could be tree sap on there. There could be industrial fallout. There could be rail dust, whatever. It doesn't matter, because the wax is going to go right over it and it'll stick and it'll be fine, and it's going to fall off in a matter of weeks. But if I expect that out of a ceramic coating, a coating that wants to cross-link and bond and become one with that clear coat, if there's anything between it, it's not going to be able to make that bond. So that's where it's all about the prep work. So the actual ceramic is relatively easy. Obviously, you get into the pro level ones, you get thicker ones. Like again, like the one we do is like spreading molasses all over your car. It's a pain in the ass. But the benefit is, and why people pay $2,000 to have it installed, is that kind of film build, which again is number one, protection. And Randy, you're probably seen this. When you add thickness, like I grew up in the 70s and 80s going to car shows and auctions where invariably there'd be a Tri-5 Chevy in tuxedo black. 57 Bel Air right there in tuxedo black with paint so deep you could swim in it. The reason that paint was so deep is because dude had like 6 layers of clear coat on it. Now, if we could do that without having to repaint your car for you, then now we're talking. So when I can add that kind of thickness on top of your clear coat, that depth lends itself to gloss, and now everything just looks whoa, all that.
How many times can you put coating after coating of ceramic on? Is it just once?
Yes. So basically, again, the way they because it's like, oh, can I just layer it, layer? It's a diminishing return because it's the nanotechnology. So it's which nano, which is a billionth of a meter. So basically, as those molecules lay across, you can only get that like one at a time. It's not, they don't stack, basically, essentially. They stack across one. So you get that initial thickness layer. So that's where, again, like to get the results you're talking about is usually a product like what we sell. It's 100% solids is what we call it. So it's all resin versus like our 5-year coating, which has a solvent basis to it. So the solvent is, you hear guys talk about the flash. So they lay the coating down and then it rainbows or it flashes. That's the solvent going up in the air, leaving behind the protection that you're just going to remove the residual from, basically, at that point. So, but what does the solvent do? Makes it easier to spread out, makes it easier to take off. But again, that's what I say is the juice worth the squeeze? If you want to get, again, the results you're talking about, Randy, where you have this increase of thickness, that typically only comes from the higher end coatings, which are usually not that easy.
Okay. I don't know how, I guess it was high end. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I only got a 3-year deal, so I don't know how high end that. I don't keep cars that long, so.
So, I mean, again, if 3-year, that would have been like, so our 5-year product gets you up to 1 micron of film build. So we have and this is again with some, when we talk about sales with my guys, I see a lot of guys in ceramics. This is where I'm trying to change this, our little corner of the industry, is everyone refers to their ceramics as 3-year, 5-year, 7-year. I'm like, this is a mistake. And this is not how we should be talking about this, because I understand qualifying a product amongst professionals. Okay, what's your 3-year versus your 3-year? Okay, G-Technic versus Dr. Beasley's versus, okay, I want to talk apples to apples. But what about when you're selling a customer? You're really pigeonholing yourself and go, oh, I got 3, a 5, a 7. It's a lease, dude. I'm out of it in 2. You know what I mean? Like you're now, when I, again, train sales, this is where I'm telling guys to talk about this film build. So you have we have one product. It's got 1 mil of film build. This one's got 2 to 4. This one's got 6 or more microns of film build. All of a sudden, whether there's a 5, 7, or 25 year, because that was the thing. We had a product that's a 25-year coating. And this is where I'm like, did they have a meeting on this without a sales guy present? Because guess what? People don't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm like that 20, and I've actually asked them to walk it back. I'm like, can we just call it 10 and be good, or life or something? I'm like, you're literally tying an anchor around the throat of an excellent product and throwing it overboard because you were making a claim, albeit as true as it might be. This technology hasn't been around for 25 years.
Right.
So how are you going to expect people to believe it?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Great point.
This is where to sell this product. Now what I have the guys do, we talk about film build. We talk about self-healing capabilities. So, you get a little handsy with your car at the car show. And, because again, what drives me nuts is dudes go to car shows, drive their car to a car show that looks great after a detailer does it, and then wipe it down with a quick detailer to scratch the living hell out of it. And I'm like, you just like, and I watch it all the time, smiling, doing it. I'm like, you're going to just pay the dude, you just paid to fix all that again, and it's just like, just let it alone, but they can't help themselves. That's what the guy's got to do. We got to make everything look clean. It's great, but
it's like somebody paying a whole bunch of money to get a really good detail and a ceramic coating and then taking the car to a tunnel wash.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Why?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no. So I mean, it's an interesting technology, and again, I think this is where we have to have. I tell my guys, like, you're in every business. So even if they're only ceramic coating guys or they're only detailers, I'm like, you have to get on your website. You offer PDR, you offer tint, you offer PPF services, because you're going to go and you're going to find guys in your area and you're going to make subcontract deals with it. Because at a certain point, like I train I want to be your source for everything. Like your car, to take care of your car, I want to do it for you. I want to be like, I'm just going to call Chris. I'm just going to call Chris. He'll take care of it, this and that. And I tell guys, like, you don't have to go out and learn PDR. Go find a guy with a good reputation in your area, make a deal with him, and then you guys work off each other. Because this is, again, if someone's getting PDR or if someone's getting a tint, because this is where I say window tint above everything, because the general public, how many people know about PDR? Fairly small subset. Who's a fraction of that subset? People who know about ceramic coatings. people, regular people, non-car people, maybe they know about clear bra, but everybody knows about tint. Everyone knows what tint is. And then when someone looks up tint, they're displaying pride of ownership. You know what I mean? And this is where I say you have to offer this service. Go find someone in your area that does it. Because if you don't, you're turning away business because it's a sales funnel. You know, and anything you're just like, hey, you know, yes, I can do that. Oh, why do you want to get tint? Well, I want to protect the interior of my brand new car. Oh, great. Do you know that we also, you know, can offer a service? We can maintain that for you, or even offer leather coating packages that can protect that as well. You know, the opportunities are there, you know, because that's all what sales basically is. It doesn't have to be sleazy and selling the ketchup popsicle to the woman in the white coat. Good sales, really good sales just starts with a couple good questions and then shut the hell up and let your customer tell you, you know, because like Bob Eichelberg, dude ran Flex Power Tools for a number of years. You know, he said it best when he's like, the best salesmen, you know, they're good talkers, but they're better listeners.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's where I just tell guys, it's like, avail yourself to this. You know,
I love what you're talking about, Chris, because the whole dynamic of being able to do a one-stop shop thing really leads back to what Randy and I are trying to build with the whole Recon rally and grow the neighborhood and the community of bringing, like MTE was originally designed, of bringing PDR and detail and coatings and paint and the interior and glass, everybody together, you know, and it's why from so many years it's been the detail side and the PDR side, and then you've got the coatings and, you know, so on and so forth. We're one big ass community neighborhood, and we should be together and working through that.
Yes. And I mean, and again, we are here. We are service based. I mean, hello. We are not going to get undersold by China on this one, guys, because we're service based. You know, on this
Right.
one. So this is where I love this industry because there's tremendous opportunity. You know, if we share our collective voice, and again, because this is where I think people just don't know what's available. I mean, how many people go to the body shop and they don't know? Like, dude, you could just call a PDR guy. They get, oh, take it right out. I mean, like my wife on her WRX called me traumatized. She was driving in Wisconsin down a little street, blah, blah, blah. And I'm convinced it was about to get eaten by a hawk. But she claims a squirrel committed suicide, basically jumped off the tree and smack right on the top of her WRX. So now she has a squirrel-sized dent just between the sunroof and the windshield, which is, of course, going to be like the most impossible place for any of you guys to get to. I can imagine the holes that you're going to have to drill to get into that spot. But I'm like, we're going to, like, before we sell it, we'll PDR it. It'll be fine. She's like, we're not going to have to get a new roof. I'm like, oh, God, no. There's professionals for this. People don't know. Right. And this is just where I think if we could bring that awareness, this is where, again, I love the whole MTE thing where I'm trying to push for some of my friends that I've made in PPF, in the paint protection film, like, come on over. The water is great. You know, you can spend a small fortune at SEMA, or you can really get some time with some qualified customers, albeit smaller pond, but much better qualified customers at something like MTE. So again, I think on many levels, you know, as professionals, you know, marketing our products and working there, but also as service providers, like for my customers and your customers coming together and being able to just network and be like, hey, oh wait, you're in the same area, great. We got to work together so I can offer PDR services. Great. I want to be able to offer my customers coding services. Fantastic. Let's make some money.
Well, I had a conversation shortly before MTE with someone about coatings, and them, you know, say, well, now I'm not going to go to MTE because I tend to do better at SEMA. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're genuinely an idiot, because let's face it, one of the largest growing segments of the coatings industry are PDR guys that have to replace coatings when they do hail damage. Why would I mean, not that I can't, but I mean, sure, I could call Chris, I can call you and have you come over and recoat a car for me. But if I can just do it myself, or if I have one of my guys trained that can do it, it's a no-brainer. So the coating companies need to be at MTE. They should be. Like you said, it's a huge market that they're not tapping into.
And let's face it, I mean, a lot of this is you come in and you got to find your way. You might come in this entrance and be like, you know what? Because this is how I look like. I between like a detailer and a PPF guy. Because I've been spending a lot of time with film guys lately. And it's like I love to cook. You know what I mean? I mean, but cooking is, you know, a little more salt, a little pinch of this, a little of that.
A lot of trial and error.
Paint protection film. That to me is like, it's like almost like golf, and it's like baking. You have to be your measurements dead on, your time dead on, your temperature dead on, like everything with like, and I could never be that guy. Like I can like to polish and this and that. And to me, the art of it is fun, but like, I could never be that exact, but you got to find your way. So you might come in the detail door, but just because you get that exposure and maybe you meet some people and meet the, because this is the other thing I tell guys, you're buying products, but understand you're buying just as much as the people behind those products as you are the products. So the ability to go meet those people, you know, then and there, and do a little try before you buy, because it's not always about the tool that you're buying. Again, let's try the people on for size 2. If you walk up to a guy and I want to buy this guy's tools and or his chemicals or whatever the hell it is, you're like, wow, he's a jagoff. You know, like, okay, make that decision easy, you know, or like, wow, dude, that dude is awesome. We're gonna go hang out later. We're gonna get a beer. Like, all right, you know, he's my guy. Like, I don't even know what the hell he sells, but I'm gonna buy it from him. You know, let's go.
I don't know anybody like that.
Nobody.
Well, and you know, it's funny that you mentioned PPF, because I don't know if you know who he is, but I work with a guy regularly, Steve Costa, who's been around PPF. You know, Steve's a good friend of mine, and he and I had this conversation recently about. He's like, there is no chance I could ever learn to do PDR. He said, I don't have the patience for it. And I'm like, I know how to do PPF, but I don't have any desire to it. I can't put models or put stickers on an airplane, on a model. You think I'm going to wrap a whole car? Nope. You know, and I'm like, I don't have patience to do PPF. I stretch and pull. No. Give me a dent. Give me a tool. I'll push the dent. I'm good. You know?
You know, like you said, I learned my life like doing my daughter's Barbie Jeep and putting the decals on. And like, do you think there's like, I mean, how many pull it up and put it back? Screw it. Fine. It's good. It's a little off, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a model. Who cares?
I think something important just to, as I'm listening, it's not so much what we individually know, but as long as we understand a little bit of everybody's market.
Sure.
And you said a thing about drilling holes, and right when you said it, because drilling
I
holes,
see someone's like drilling holes and like the hands in front of the face. Or
yeah. And then right when you said it, Lee's like, oh no, you know, it's like, because drilling holes is how we started out back in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s. And then it kind of went to, that's a big no. You don't drill any holes. So you never see a drill bit on any dent, guys.
From it. Well, ironically, my point of reference, the whole reason I met Jim, this was about 2000, 99, maybe 2000, something like that. Dude's doing PDR in our building for I don't know, one of the cars, whatever. And I'm like, dude, I have a 4-hour process to wash the exterior of my car. I don't have time for it anymore. I can't bring it to the guy down the street because I take our delivery truck there and I watch the same mitt go on every car that goes through that place. I'm like, there's no way I'm taking a car I actually care about there. And he's like, there's this place that just opened up, you know, like down, like, and that's what he started telling me about was Simon's Detail, which was what Jim owned, which founded Dr. Beasley's and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's actually a PDR guy. And that's how I used to know he drilled, because that's what he used to do. I remember I used to see him, like, he'd poke a hole, like, we'll just fill that in right there. I'm like, okay. Like, again, what the hell do I know? I'm like, I'm not a professional. You want to know about like furniture, like you want to know about, hey, kiln dried, double dolled, corner blocked, you know, hardwood frames. I got you. I can tell you all about that shit. You have no idea what I just said, but it sounded cool, you know. But it's also why the sofa costs $5,000 and not $500.
Right. But I think it's kind of cool as we're getting to know each other better and our industries, this side of it a little bit better. We're starting to understand a little bit more. Hopefully today everybody understands ceramic coating a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And just as you know that you don't drill holes anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I learned something new today. Beauty.
You know what? That's kind of what this is all about. So that, and then that way when we go to MTE, people come up and say, "Oh man, Chris, I saw you on the show, and got some questions about some ceramic coating or whatever it may be." And everybody's always looking for an add-on service. No matter if you've got a shop, everybody's looking for that add-on service. Doesn't matter if it's ceramic coating or detailing or windshield repair or PDR. It is easier to use other people and make a little profit off that. I've worked in so many detail shops over the years, and it's a nice fit. It's a great fit, especially when there's a hailstorm in the area, or if somebody does a lot of wholesale and there's a dent guy I've worked in 2 detail shops over the years. I had 2 of them. I'd do one of them from 6 in the morning till noon. And then I'd go to the other one and I'd be there at 1 o'clock till 6. And it was just one opened up early and closed at 3. And the other one opened up at 9 and closed at 6. So I was able to do $10,000 to $15,000 for each one of those guys, just doing their dealer cars. And it was a perfect setup. And I did that for many, many years. So.
Yeah, it's nice, clean, easy money. I mean, there's something to be said with not having to deal with the end user, which is my main, the only way I could ever do sales again, and that's why I'm here doing sales for Beasley, is because I swore to be happy, I have to be the first guy to sell it. I can no longer ever, ever, ever be the last guy to sell it. I can't deal with it anymore. Anyone who's done retail you guys, come on, service industry, you're going to get those ones customers I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To me, I like dealing with professionals.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
Well, Chris, you were part of the Keeping It Real, the first tournament this year. What did you think of that?
I thought that was awesome. It was quite a surprise. I appreciate Alex from Detail Solutions Podcast for putting us together on that one. And you don't have to twist my arm much ever to get on a boat and drop a line in. Unless it's a sailboat, that's more like work.
That's a lot of work.
No, that's not for me. That was an incredible opportunity. I mean, it was great. I got to call a customer of mine who's also into fishing, stuff like that. So Jason got to join us, who's from Car Supplies Warehouse. So I'm certainly hoping that, I can do some of my sales on my superiors back at the office and sell them on why we're going to get such incredible ROI from supporting this event in the future. So I got some thoughts and ideas. So I'm excited to see what you do with it for next year for MTD.
I'd say what I'm excited about, and I think Lee's going to join me with this. We're excited to start the second chapter of the Kevin Halewood Foundation, and that's trying to recruit detail sponsors, detail companies to come aboard as we have on the PDR side now. But because we know there's such a demand and such a call because of this cause, I'm sure there's got to be detailers out there that they're no different than PDR techs. I mean, we're all self-employed, and some guys manage money better than others, and some of them, it doesn't matter. I tell you, listen, Robert that was on earlier, he can tell you, it doesn't matter how well you manage your money or how much money's in your bank account. When you get sick and you take a nosedive, your finances take a nosedive with you, and it's not long before you're dry as a bone. And that's what this is all about, just to help somebody out for 3 months or something, just to help them get back on their feet, or at least give them a breather while they're trying to understand what's going on in their body. And they need a little rest and relaxation without having to worry about the finances. And if we could do that for guys that are really in dire need, that's the goal. And that's what's really cool about the Kevin Halewood Foundation, is bringing all this together for us. So I hope that we can, look at you as an ambassador for the detail side. And I know we can from talking with you. So I'm glad to have you on board with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to use my voice for that. I can empathize with being, we've all been in those situations, and, and it's not just about the financial, help, although that, of course, that is beneficial, but to understand that there's people out there that care. It's more about the gesture itself than the actual, amount of it. Because, my kids were born, I have twin girls now, 7 years old, but they were born at 27 weeks. We spent 3 months in the NICU, And I added up all the bills. I racked up $1 million in invoices from that hospital stay. And you don't get through that without a little help from your friends. And and that's it's when you're in the middle of that, when your days are darkest, it's like those little gestures, mean everything. So this is where, again, I think it's a great thing what you guys are doing as far as the Kevin Halewood Foundation. I was happy that we got to be able to contribute a little bit to the silent auction that you put on, Randy. But
we appreciate that. Thank you too.
Whatever I can do with, in my connections, with the tool companies and the other chemical companies, I'm going to put it out there in front of all of them for you guys and see what we can't get together.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, I'm gonna pose on you, and because I was gonna reach out to you the next day or two. I'm sure you heard while you were in the back studio the new raffles that I'm doing for the foundation. I would love it if you could take an opportunity, just a few minutes, to just kind of throw together a short list of a couple of real popular items that y'all have that I can come in and buy, that I can add to and do on one of the raffles.
Well, yeah, except I'd be kind of offended if you actually had to pay for them. So
no. That's the whole key. That's what we're doing.
This is the whole thing. Yeah,
everybody is doing.
We're not. We don't want to take advantage of any of our sponsors at all. The Recon Garage is really set up to show you guys that we appreciate all you guys. Listen, when we need something, I do not have a problem asking.
Neither one of us do.
No, we're not shy. We're not shy guys.
In this situation
with the raffle, you go ahead, Lee.
I was just going to say, I'm sorry, we keep talking over each other. But in this situation for the raffle, this is not only to benefit the foundation, but it's also a thank you to y'all. Because everybody, all of our vendors and our sponsors and everything has been so kind and so beneficial to the foundation. This is a way that you can that we're going to be able to go buy the product. So you're not giving anything away. We don't want you to put anything out that you already haven't, because that we'll come to you for that later. But
just wait, it's coming.
Right.
But this way, so I mean, the way it's set up, like you heard earlier, I'll buy a product from you. I'm going to sell enough tickets that I can pay you for it.
Okay.
And the foundation makes money at the same time. So this way, it benefits everybody.
Yeah, right. I mean, easy peasy. I'd say. I mean, everyone should have it because it's whether it's at home if you got a leather in your house or on your body if you're into leather. If you like that too, or leather in your car.
That's another show.
Yeah. The leather cream is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, again, this is a product that was the genesis of Dr. Beasley's. It was his first product. I actually used it in our leather specialty stores. We used to use another product called Lexol, my father had trained me to use, and it kind of a little slippery, a little bit shiny. This stuff is phenomenal. It makes leather feel how it should feel.
Can I use it on my head?
I mean, it's got lanolin in it, so it will condition nicely, but no shine. It's going to be a very, have a matte finish.
Now we're back to the matte finish again.
Yeah.
But I'll reach out the next day or two so I can get with you. I'd love to get a couple of items for you so I can add it in there. So
let's put together a couple of things in that. No problem. I'd love to do that.
Well, Mr. Randy,
I'm loving it. It's the way we're going to build this all together, and it's not just us, Chris. It's you guys. It's Dr. Beasley's. It's all of us together doing it. And
Jeff, leave me alone.
So,
did you see what Jeff just posted?
If it grew hair, I'd be all over it. But no,
Jeff,
it ain't happening.
Jeff just says it won't grow hair.
It won't grow hair.
No, that shit's
well, neither will I, Jeff. So there you go. Well, Chris, thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes,
we appreciate everything that you do, man.
And we'll definitely see you fishing again.
Absolutely.
And we've got a golf tournament too. I don't know if you guys play golf or fishing or both.
No, I don't. Actually, the joke in my house is because I live on a sled hill that doubles as a golf course in the summer. That's that because I can't stand the sport of golf. It's not. I
bet you're pretty good at sledding though.
Awesome at sledding. That I do very well. That's more my speed.
Nice, Chris. Go. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, buddy.
Bye bye. All right.
Cool.
Good deal, man. That was good having him on. I knew quite a background story, and
He does.
With his brother and his dad,
And I only got, honestly, it was so crazy at the tournament. I only got to talk to Chris between the tournament and MTE just for a few minutes, really. And so it was really nice to chat with him. I mean, he's a super dude. It's great talking to him.
Yeah, that was, and I thought it was kind of interesting to really learn about ceramic coatings there, and especially about a matte finish. I had no idea that they could even make anything for matte finish.
I didn't either. I had never seen it before, and like I said, when I jumped on their website over the weekend and I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, hello."
Yeah,
that's cool.
Cool. Yeah, that's neat. Well, it's going to be interesting to see where all these conversations take us with all these different companies, and hopefully the PDR guys will, especially the guys that have shops, possibly to open up to other avenues, other directions for revenues and stuff. It's the same thing with the detail shops as well too. This is long overdue. We should have been doing this a long time ago, and I think that was I really think that was Kevin's big picture with the whole MTE. This is what he wanted for a long time. So
absolutely, I totally agree with that. And it's it's awesome. And I didn't need to mention to Chris. It's like, everybody always, we're talking about having, these conversations and talking between the dent guys and the detail guys and so on and so forth. I think I told you Wednesday night after the tournament, right before MTE, after the Bass tournament, I had an opportunity. I went out, Chelsea and I went out with a bunch of the detailers, and those guys party as hard as we do. I was hanging out with Paul Kane and Josh Hernandez, and nobody. Let's just say there was plenty of liquid flowing. That's all I can tell you. Those guys party as hard as we do, and they're super good. They're super good people. They really are. Yeah. I love hanging out with those guys and getting to know a bunch of them, and it was a pleasure to do that. So I love building this community. Any little bitty thing that we can do to help do that and bring the community together, I'm down. I love doing that.
Me too. And if anybody's watching, you have ideas, shoot them our way. Please shoot them our way. Stephen Dyke says it's past 8 p.m. Count me out.
If it's past 8 p.m., count me out.
He's still Come on, Steve. He's still hanging in there.
It is past 8. It's past 9 p.m. Central Time. It's past 10 p.m. Eastern. So come on, Stephen.
Stephen, I'm right.
If you're going to run with the big dogs, you better be able to pee in the tall grass or get off of our porch. Okay, brother?
Well, I'm going to get off the porch because I'm tired. It's time for me to go take a nap.
I am too, brother. Thank y'all very much for joining us. Can't wait to see everybody that is coming out to Anson on Saturday. Please be out there, and we hope you have a great time. Be safe getting here, and don't forget, come out and help shave Dave Shalot's head.
That's
$50 bet. Oh, by the way, real quick, he texted me during the show.
Yeah.
The donations that he's already collected, just the straight up donations, he's already at $500.
Wow.
As of when he texted me a little while ago.
Wow.
So that's really cool.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
This is exciting.
It is. I can't wait to help shave his head.
Guys, if you're watching, you want to pledge something for that, let us know. Let Dave Shalott know. Let Lee know. Let myself know.
I'll get to
I will say this as soon as the website comes out Saturday. I believe there's a donate button, and I believe that will go right to the bank account the way it's set up. And so everybody knows that this is 100% run by volunteers. Not one penny goes to Lee, goes to myself. Nope. Nobody involved. This is all volunteers. All the money goes right back to help a technician in need. There's going to be, if you're a technician and you are in need, there will be a little button you click for financial assistance. It's all very private. People won't know it, but you will have to really prove it's a pretty strict application. So be prepared to answer a lot of questions, and everything is verified, so we know that you're truly in need. It's just our way of governing this and make sure that the money is used very wisely. The board has been activated for the PDR side. The board members' names are on there. There's also going to be another sector on there called ambassadors. And that's going to be for people who are really going out of their way to really help us spread the word with this. For example, me and Lee are ambassadors. There's a lot of people that are ambassadors of it because everybody believes in what we're doing. We talked about doing this for years, and talks has turned into action, and now we're doing it. It's a lot of fun. A lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
If you're going to talk, we better walk the walk, and we're
That's
walking
right.
it, brother. So
That's right.
that's it.
All right, cool.
Have a good night, everybody.